The year is 2020. Happy New Year. I know it's kind of late, but it's never too late. Hindsight is 2020 is how the old proverb goes. But interestingly, that proverb usually leads us to regret, with us kicking ourselves with statements like, I should have, I could have, I wish I had, and so forth. So mistakes and missteps, while they help us learn, they usually come at a cost and some pain. So you might have been familiar with the old Will Rogers quote, which says, good judgment comes from experience, and a lot of that comes from bad judgment. And while we tend to laugh at that, it's true. Experience is a great teacher, but I think it's slow and comes at a high cost. So if we ask ourselves, how can we learn faster, accelerate our learning, and make Foresight 2020? That's my goal for 2020 for you. And let me share you this story. A physician friend of mine, fairly accomplished one, called me one day and said, hey Krishna, I knew it was my ego, but I did it anyway. And I was quiet. I didn't say anything. On my mind I was going, that's pretty cool. He knew what he was doing. But I could tell, even though it was a phone conversation, he was kind of puzzled at the other end. And then suddenly I said, great. And he was really puzzled. So he asked me, why did you say great? And I said, well, now you at least know when the consequence comes back what your role in it was, and actually who started it, without jumping to blame the other person, because in this case, it was his boss. What do we tend to normally do when a boss finds fault with us? The boss is the problem, right? And usually you can find others who will agree with you, especially if you have a tough boss. So the question really for me that I have asked myself and told myself really is, how can I avoid this trap? And the statement that comes to me is, I want to be happy, but my ego wants to be right. So every time I have served my ego, I have usually robbed myself of some happiness or peace. So if there's anything that you'd like to get out of this video, is to ask yourself, who is the master? Am I serving me or am I serving my ego? And please be aware, when you start serving your ego, most likely you're going to rob yourself of some happiness or peace. Thank you for watching.